All set.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so before we get started, I'd like to introduce a man who really needs no introduction, as he's a self-promoter, second only to P.T. Barnum. And I'm trying to read this, but unlike old P.T. Barnum, he's not a phony and delivers what he says. An historian of film, raconteur, and all-around nice guy, okay, deserving of this platform. Did I leave anything out, John? You all set for this? Okay.
Thanks.
So tonight, this afternoon, we're going to see a movie that John has picked out for us that you can't see anywhere else. That's the point we want to make. You really can't see these particular films anywhere else. You want to go to East Meadow Library, you can see TCM movies that I can watch at home. And the guy who tells me about it doesn't really know anything. Anyway, John, without further ado, here's Johnny.
Hey! John Carpenter here, ladies and gentlemen. And who? John Carpenter. You know me. My name is on every bathroom wall in town. Anyhow, I am your movie man. I am a film historian, actual film historian, and the reason why I'm so honored that Greg just get that wonderful introduction to me is because my shows are different than all these other classic film programs done by so-called film historians out here. And that's why you're all here with me today, and that is because not only am I a historian of the film and the history of the film itself, but I am also a historian of the time when the film was first made. So I will tell you the importance of our most important industry, the film industry, which the world really got to see and replicate, be jealous of, and really envy us for what we are due to the films that we put out for the world to see. Now, this film that I'm showing today, The Man Who Laughs, is my first silent film show that I've been honored to have been allowed to do at the Levittown Public Library. But as seeing that so many have come, I'm sure they will have me do more of these shows. But this film was made in that transitional period of silent to sound film. Very important. Now the sound films at that time were shot silent, but they had in studio, they had an orchestra that would record a theme music disc soundtrack for the film to be played in synchronization with the film. Now, this film also it is not the typical, well, this is the real reason why I'm showing it. This film is not the typical film a person would show for a Halloween film show. First, I would like to show you, though, what I normally transfer from film, because I am an actual film collector and preservationist. So, as you see, film, 16 millimeter film, as my mother will tell you when I get her up here in just a moment, so you all ask for her. I get phone calls 4 o'clock in the morning. Is your mother going to appear at the show? She's stealing my thunder, but that's okay. It's all in the family. Anyhow, what I'm trying to say is, I have over 400,000 16 millimeter film prints from the teens, 20s, and 1930s. This is where I have learned, this is what I have preserved, and this is where I've learned what to be the movie man, as I've been called, that I am today. Now, if you should have any film prints lying in your basement that you no longer need, you know that I will give them a very, very, very good home and preserve them well.
In my home.
In our home, right.
A home is lovely.
That I happen to reside in. And I guess I'm the roomer, a very bad roomer. So there's, but now this film, This film is made by Universal Studios. Universal Studios was known, as you know, in the later years of the 30s for creating the horror films that we all got to know iconically. The Draculas, the Frankensteins, the Wolfmans, they always had that dark themed bent of a film. And they were excellent at it. But now this shows you one of their most earliest horror films, if you want to call it. It's a horror film with a love song, if you can believe that. And that's because when sound films first were coming out, the best way to aid and market that film was to have a song accompany it and have it known as the song came from that film, so it could be sold in sheet music as well as 78 RPM records. Now, the audience of that time began really understanding sound film because they wanted music, they wanted song. So even the most serious of films, as we see here, has a love song in it. But this film, it's long, and it is worthwhile seeing, and no other library will show this kind of a film because truthfully I don't think they know of it. Now, to correct one thing that what Greg said, this film I did get from TCM. Why did I get it from TCM? Because to buy this full 111-minute film, I was offered a print of it about 10 years ago. It would have cost like $700. That's $700 then, okay? But, so this film I did take off of TCM because this was the only way I could get it to study it scene by scene, minute by minute, as well as show it to all of you. Okay, now this film was released with a synchronized sound disc, a set of discs that had music and sound effects that synchronized with the picture. The film is starring Mary Philbin, who played Christine in the original Lon Chaney version of The Phantom of the Opera, which also came from Universal Studios. But it also introduces to all the theater people Conrad Veidt. Now you may know Conrad Veidt for playing the very nasty Nazi officer in the 40s, and also in Casablanca, where he played and really emphasized that role. But he began making films in Germany of the German expressionistic type, as this film emulates, in films such as The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, Different from the Others, where he plays a homosexual, and you actually have shots in a gay club, which was never done at the time. But those films that were made in Germany, and the fact that German expressionism was the main thing seen in films and accepted to be seen in the German movie screens, was that Germany was a very decadent place in those years. And that's why the ruling class was demanding a stronger government, a government that they had taken over by a fellow by the name of Adolf. Now that is, they were going for the wrong thing and asking for a stronger government to control the decadency of their country. But what came out of that country that we also used, and Universal used in their films, was German Expressionism. German Expressionism came from German film, but it emphasized and illustrated the darkness of the period in Germany that this shows. And this film really shows it, because not only does this film have a heart to it, but it also, you will see the evilness that the Paul Lenny was the director, straight from Germany. And he was brought straight from Germany so that he could recreate German Expressionism at Universal Studios. So I'm not going to talk anymore, and I'm sure you're all glad for that. But, thank you. All right, so Hitomi, roll 'em.
You know, one of the interesting features about this particular film we were just watching here, this was recorded directly on film. Later on, when the jazz singer was shown on Broadway, this was recorded on a disc, and the disc had to be synchronized with the film, so it was dependent upon the control man up in the control room, the projectionist booth, who was smart enough to be able to synchronize that sound with the film.